We are proud and honored to have with us Padma Shri Dr. Resul sir. Sir, it is truly an honor to have you with us today.
Thank you.
Sir, to begin with, can you tell us about your journey and what made you choose to enter this field of sound?
Born in a small village in Kerala, there was no electricity until I was in the 12th standard. From there, I went to college. There was an all-India entrance exam, so we went in and I came to Pune. There was an orientation course at the Film Institute. And I went there and they asked me, why did you come here? I said, I want to work in films, I want to do sound and change society. And all that. They said, okay, then you go back. So they failed me. That failure was the biggest lesson for me.
How did you pursue your parents and what was their reaction perhaps to some of your laurels that you've won, sir?
You have to understand why do they say no. Because you don't realize it when you are children, but you realize it when you become a parent. You know? Most often in life, you feel that, when you become a parent, you think that, okay, my father was right or my mother was right. The reason being, they're always worried about your safety.
What a sound designer does and what your role is.
Me as a sound designer, I have to listen to many, many sounds and choose a particular couple of sounds and put it into the film.
What skills then are important for someone who wants to join this field?
Skill is something that you can learn. So in my profession, you need to have good ears and you have to constantly learn and understand the difference between hearing and listening. Yeah.
How do you think, sir, multilingualism has helped you in your field? And since that is also something CBSE promotes in its education, how do you think that's going to help students, maybe taking from your own journey, sir?
If you are not giving your children the mother tongue, the language in which they have born in or born with, you are not giving them original power to think.
Namaskar and warm greetings to all our viewers. CBSE is back with another interesting podcast for you all. And today, we're entering the world of sound. Can you imagine a movie without sound? Without the sound of the footsteps of a villain slyly entering the scene? Or without the sound of thunder and rain as the protagonist makes their heroic entry? Or without the sound of the birds chirping in the background, making it so tranquil that you feel as if you're in the movie itself? And so, as we take CBSE's efforts forward to bring diverse career paths to our students, we are proud and honored to have with us Padma Shri Dr. Resul sir. Sir is an Academy Award-winning sound designer, mixer, and editor. Sir is not just an international winner, but has also won various awards such as the BAFTA, Golden Globes, and many national and state awards. Sir has also worked for movies such as Slumdog Millionaire, which is an Oscar-winning movie, and many of our favorites such as Pushpa and Gajni. Sir is also the chairperson for the India Institute of Creative Skills and treasurer for Media Entertainment Skills Council. Sir, it is truly an honor to have you with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, sir, today. And we're so excited to enter this fascinating world of sound and know your inspiring journey.
That was quite an introduction, though.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm pretty sure you deserve it very well, sir. Sir, to begin with, can you tell us about your journey and what made you choose to enter this field of sound?
My journey, born in a small village in Kerala. The place is called Vilakavara. The nearest school was 6 kilometers away. So obviously I walked to school. There was no electricity until I was in the 12th standard. Today's 12th standard. In my time it was called pre-degree. So I studied under a kerosene lamp. I'm just saying, all this not to create any legacy to the children who was listening. From that small, quaint village, there was some 7 families in that place. And I had a living which was in union with the nature, I would say. I've heard stories about my mother saying that wild elephants used to come at night. And I had seen leopards, I had seen wild animals, but there was always a beautiful living with the nature. From there, I went to college, the nearest town. There I fell in love with physics. I did my BSc in physics and I wanted to be a physicist. I thought I will research in superconductivity and invent a superconductive element and win a Nobel Prize for India. That was my dream. Now they say man proposes and God disposes. It became an Oscar.
Right.
Not a mean feat, but it's quite accidental that I went into films. I didn't get my admission for masters in physics, so I was not doing anything. So I just joined for law. And while I was doing law in my first year, a couple of my friends from college came to me and said, "Yeah, there is a advertisement in today's newspaper for a course in sound recording and sound engineering at the Pune Film Institute. The basic qualification is BSc Physics." I said, "Okay." So I thought it's an extension of my physics studies.
Right.
So I applied. I was the only one who got in from among the friends group. There was an all-India entrance exam, so we went in, and I came to Pune. There was an orientation course at the Film Institute. So the idea, the philosophy of the orientation course is that there are people coming from all walks of life, from all parts of India. So they wanted to give a level playing ground. So for a week, they would teach cinema. They'll show us master's work. They talk about cinema in general, about a week. There'll be external experts with whom you are interacting. Then there is an aptitude test. So you write a test, post the orientation course. Then there is an interview. And as any, enthusiast I just came and discovered cinema and I did not get through the first time.
Okay.
I went in with a very structured thinking of how to appear for an interview. Like I read Competition Success and those kind of magazines and IAS, how to appear, So you do the regular preparations and go. And I went there and they asked me, "Why did you come here?" I said, "I want to work in films, I want to do sound and change society and all that." They said, "Okay, then you go back." So they failed me. That failure was the biggest lesson for me. It was like somebody giving you a taple on your head. So I came back to my law. Then I realized that I fell in love with cinema. And all this while I've been a science student. So I realized that I have to change myself to an art student. So I was looking forward to the next year entrance exam and all that. So that 1 year that I spent in Trivandrum in my government law college, every day I used to fix my schedule. I look at newspapers. There's a program called Today's Program. There's a column. In the city, what all the cultural events you have. So I make a note of it and I prepare my day. Every day morning I prepare my day. Then I go. Whether it is film screening, whether it is discussions, whether it is poets, sammelan, or musical performances, anything. There's not even a single space in Trivandrum that I have not been to. There was a Russian Culture Center, there was a Alliance de France, and there's Tagore Theatre, there is museum. On every Sunday there used to be like free screenings and and Padma Swami temple. Around the temple there was a lot of Carnatic music and performance and all. So I've been to every nook and corner. And it took me a year sort of prepare myself, and next year again I applied. It's quite interesting. So next year I came. So orientation course, everything went. I landed up with the interview and they asked me, "Why did you come again?" I said, "You've called me, that's why I came." "Okay. What do you think your chances are this time?" I said, "I'm as confident as I should be in this stage." So then the dean asked me, "Resul, if I'm going to fail you, what are you going to do?" So I pulled myself up and I looked at the interview board and said, "Sir, if there are 9 people in this interview board, if you have an intention to fail me, the others may have an intention to pass me. Then what happens?" So they all had a laugh and they said, "Your interview is over."
Wow.
I came out and I felt really bad. I felt you're arrogant, you're so egoistic. Because 2 years of law also gave me a courage, some kind of courage to face anybody, anything and everything. So I said I completely, misbehaved at the interview. And I felt very sad. So in those times, whatever your feeling is, you go and watch a movie, If you're sad, you watch a movie. If you're happy, you watch a movie. So I told my friend I completely, misbehaved in the interview and I think I'm going to fail. I feel very sad. I think I, lost my opportunity. He said, "Okay, let's go for a movie." So we went to Alka Theatre in Pune We saw a movie called Fish Called Wanda, and I laughed my heart out. And I came out, and we were walking back to the hostel because that's the last night in Pune. So while walking back, one of the contestants he said, "Hey, the sound merit list has come. You go through." Huh?"
Oh,
So I'm like, "What? how can it be?"
in disbelief.
So it's like much later on when I worked in this film called Nanban, which is a remake of Three Idiots. It's exactly the same situation. No? Amir Khan goes and looks at the result. So I started looking at from the lower bottom. So the last rank is 6, and I'm looking at it's not there in 5, 4, 3, 2. I got first rank.
Wow.
Then the thing is, when you get first rank, you get a scholarship. Get central government scholarship. You also get state government scholarship. So there's not much money. It's like 500 rupees and 300 rupees. So I had 800 rupees, like with me. Every month I'm going to get 800 rupees. So I thought I can study on my own. So this friend invited me to Bombay. So I went to Bombay. First time I'm in Bombay. Bombay completely psyched me and sent a telegram from Bombay. One first rank. And in Gao mein, when the telegram comes, there's going to be a lot of, you think that's good, some bad news. So my mother was coming from the town. The postman met her in the bus, and the postman said, "Umma," everybody calls me mother. "There's a telegram for you from Bombay." So my mother started worrying,
Naturally.
Like she's like, "What happened? My son went to Pune, but this is from Bombay." So she said, my whole 20 minutes that I was in the bus, I was like complete. It was like a candle was burning. And this guy also didn't tell her. So she came down, she thinking that something happened to Biju. My name is Biju at home. Then the guy came, opened the telegram and said, he says he won first rank. So my mother, when she met me, she actually beat me, saying that, "Why do you have to send a telegram?" I said there was no other way I could, in those times, you pay for a word,
Right.
Maybe to the new generation it's all like a fantasy. You pay for every word. So when you do telegrams, you try and be very economy. There's an economy of words that you
Right.
choose. Also, words have very less number of alphabets. That's how you choose, so that you spend less money. So then I told my mother that I can study on my own. So mother was like, "You go study," because
Wow.
she didn't like law. As in, she said the lawyers are like they wear black suit, झूठ बोलता है वो, कौवा जैसा है. So you go from. My father said, "Why you are already doing a professional course? Why do you want to shift?" So I went back to my hostel and I wrote a letter to my father. And the reason why I want to study cinema. And after that, he never said anything.
Oh, wow, sir.
And I said, "I'll study on my own." The funny part is that the 300 rupees the government of Kerala gives, that never comes on time. The central government, which the INB ministry gives, it comes on time. So I had 500 rupees every month. 600 rupees was my hostel fee. 600 rupees was the semester fee. So semester fee somehow you manage.
Right.
The hostel fees that you can't manage. So I was short of 100 rupees every month.
Oh.
So I would go dinnerless every Sunday. That's how I managed. You have every day you have a budget. A chai used to cost us 2 rupees. There. No. 1 rupee 25 paise.
Something
No.
we can't imagine in today's day.
75 paise for a chai.
Okay.
And 1 rupee 25 paise for a poha. So in 2 rupees your breakfast is done. Then rest is hostel. So we lived like that. I lived like that, and so I'm very happy that I have gone through that kind of a life. So what was very interesting is when I was in the film school for the first time in a big city. And though in the school assembly you have read out the pledge, all my Indians are my brothers and sisters, I never met anybody outside my state. I would never interacted with anybody outside, Malayalam speaking community. That was the first time I was meeting a Kashmiri. That was the first time I'm meeting a Gujarati. First time I'm meeting somebody from Delhi who like Punjabi. First time I'm meeting an Oriya. So for me it was like a big cultural shock,
Right.
And I could barely speak English at that time. So my first struggle, if you ask me, is that just to overcome that village boy mentality and come and see and interact and understand the rest of India. And find a common language that we can speak and interact. That was English, and though we studied English, but we never could converse or read. You write. You can't write what is in your head. You can't write it in English.
Yes, sir.
So I needed to overcome that. So 1 year I fixed a timetable for myself that I would read periodicals, I would read magazines, I would read literature, I would read what is related to cinema. So I have fixed up morning, afternoon, evenings, library. I would do these things. Every day I would take a book. Every third day I would return it. That's how I overcome the language barrier. Then you study 3 years. You study in a film school. You form an opinion and you create your own conviction about art and culture. Then you come out into an industry, and the industry says, we don't need you. We don't need educated people in the industry, because one of the biggest downfall of Indian film industry is that you don't need any formal education to be a part of the industry. If you want to be a doctor, you have to be an MBBS.
Right.
If you want to be a manager, minimum you need an IIM or an MBA. Or an engineer, you have to study engineering. To be a filmmaker, you don't have to study anything. You just need to know how to tell stories.
Right.
Or be a part of the industry. So it's also one of the most dynamic thing about the industry, and the art field, so to speak. So then I thought, I always been very attracted by Swami Vivekananda's teaching. And one of the things that he said is like, if you are an educated person, and with your education, and then if that education is not coming to of any use for your fellow beings, fellow Indians, that education has no value.
Right.
So I thought, if industries say that they don't need me, it is my duty to create the need of me for the industry. So 14 years later, when the whole world heard my name, and sound mixing as a category, winning an Oscar, which is the first Oscar in Asia in the sound category, everybody just woke up. Oh, there is something like this in cinema, and it could be a career path. So that 14 years was my effort to create a need for myself in the industry.
Yes.
When I began, there was less than 1% of Indian cinema was doing live sound, what we call live sound, which is shooting sound while we are shooting the film.
Okay.
So that there's no dubbing, that gives you the most natural performance. It creates the most natural sound. All the films that I've done, I specialize in that. I'm the one who actually brought it back to India.
That's so great, sir.
In the late 90s, when we didn't have the necessary equipments and everything. So anyway, it's a long story to start. And today we have more than 50% of Indian cinema is doing live sound. So imagine the number of workforce who's working in that field and category. And today, if you ask any actor, they would say, I don't want to dub the film, because their performance are compromised.
Right.
Though we have a very great lineage of dubbing cinema, and dubbing in Indian cinema is actually an art of its own. If you see people like Dilip Kumar, or people like Dilip Saab, or people like Bachchan Saab, or people like Shah Rukh, the way they dub, they just love the microphone. They're just inside it.
So they're just one with the system then.
So we have a great lineage of dubbing, and we have taken dubbing as a work of art. That you do one performance for the camera, and you come back and you see everything, then you create a new performance for the microphone. So that is how our films are made. That's how films have been done. Because our films were about dialogue bazi. I'm talking about the mainstream Indian cinema. Dialogue bazi is something that is a part of our dramaturgy. You remember films like Kurbani, films like Sholay, Kitna Aadmi The. So these were like the way the dialogue was spoken. It becomes a text for the audience to speak, and enjoyment, for entertainment, pastime. It becomes so the way you speak dialogue has become an art in itself, which you can't find in any other cinema. You take European cinema, you take American cinema, you take any other cinema, Russian cinema or Scandinavian, anything. dialogues are not spoken. They are part of your natural living. But we do dialogue projection. It's come from theatre in one way, and it has taken as an artist. So that's where I was trying to create an inroad. So it's quite difficult, that okay, you be away from dialogue bazi, you come back to natural performances. Because I realized in my third year at the film school, I was analyzing what I want to do with my degree or post graduation degree in sound, in cinema. Why I see a B grade Hollywood film or not so good European cinema, even though they were not good, but they stood very close to life. It's very natural. And I thought, why our cinema is not like that? And I realized it was the way the sound was done. So I wanted to specialize in doing live sound. So that's how its whole journey began, and it ended up at the Oscars.
So beautiful to hear that, sir. I mean, you're a testament of what determination, perseverance, and passion can bring you to. And an Oscar, like you said, sir. Sir, you mentioned that you wrote a letter to your father when you wanted to, in a way, pursue him to let you continue with this field. How did you actually pursue him? Because, sir, sometimes parents can be a little rigid about letting their children follow, specifically after being more academic, going into creative field. That can be a little tough. How did you pursue your parents? And what was their reaction, perhaps, to some of your laurels that you've won, sir?
No, I did, first of all, I didn't have to pursue him because our family background was that we never had a problem with raising opinion in the family and telling what you actually feel. My father was very liberal in that respect. But we immensely respected our parents. If they say, even if they ask a question that you think it is negative, then you think twice about contradicting it or going against it. So he only asked me, this is exactly what he said. Why do you want to jump around like a monkey? Because you're already doing a professional course. So why are you switching to another professional course? And he was a well-read man. He was a very wise man. And my mother was very truthful and genuine, very pious lady. And I didn't have to do much of convincing. So, but because my father asked me this question, I could not say, no, I want to go. I couldn't raise my voice or fight with him or anything. So I quietly went back to my hostel and I wrote a letter to him. I still have a huge collection of letters between me and my father. That's because I was in college. I used to write him letters. And during my working period, until he died, I used to write him letters, and he used to write me letters. So I have a huge collection of my letters with my father. And he also gave me a very good habit of writing my diaries. I used to write my diaries every day. It's because of the busyness, Others, diligently I would go, and every year I would buy a diary. Or maybe from his office he used to bring diaries, and he also would scribble sometimes. So that was it. They actually, my parents let me do what I wanted to do, and that's one of the reasons why I flourished, maybe.
That's wonderful to hear, sir, and thank you so much for sharing such a personal thing with us, because for all our students it's very important to understand that parents' support matters a lot, and how you talk to them, how you communicate can make all the difference in the life that you're choosing for yourself.
See, also, I would say there's a huge responsibility to the students as well. I mean, we as children, why do parents say sometime yes or sometime no? You say something, they immediately say no.
Right.
You have to understand why do they say no. Because you don't realize it when you are children, but you realize it when you become a parent. Most often in life you feel that when you become a parent, you think that, okay, my father was right or my mother was right. The reason being, they're always worried about your safety. Human beings are the only race in the animal kingdom who protect their offsprings until they die.
Yes.
And they're constantly worried about their safety. They're constantly worried about their well-being. अगर आप बाहर गए कहीं, मेरे बच्चा इस टाइम पे खाना खाया है क्या, किधर है, उनके साथ कौन है, क्या है, कहाँ पे है, सेफ है क्या, बार बार फ़ोन करता है, then you feel that why this mother is calling every time. So if you as children create a trust with your parents, making them feel that, look, I am your children and I will not do anything bad or I will not do anything to break your trust. If that trust is built between the parents and the children, they will let you go free.
Yes.
You know, so when a parent say no to you, you also realize that you also have as a children, you also have the counter responsibility to make them feel that you are not wrong. I mean, you are not going to do anything that is going to bring them disgrace, bring them bad name. You know, more than anything, bring them anxiety about your safety and your well-being. If that trust is built, they would let you go. You can be the best son. You can be the best daughter.
Right.
You can be the best son-in-law. You can be the best. See, one of the things I keep telling to my fellow mates and students is that there is no point in being a great artist if you are a bad husband, if you are a bad son, if you are a bad father,
Right.
if you are a bad mother, if you are a bad son-in-law, if you are a bad daughter-in-law. First is, you be the best brother you can be. You be the best sister you can be. You be the best son you can be. You be the best daughter you can be. You be the best father, the best mother you can be. Then comes the best artist in you.
Yes.
And if you can be best in all these things, you have to be a great artist.
Then nothing
You
can
have
stop
to
you.
be a successful person. There is no question of the universe stopping you in your way of success. So just that we have to work ourselves, just diamond doesn't come the way that you wear them. It needs a lot of polishing, and that polishing is what you have to do. That's called discipline.
Truly.
They say, discipline eat, talent for lunch. There's no point in you saying that you're greatly talented, or we're spotting somebody who is talented. Unless if he or she doesn't have discipline, the talent is actually a waste.
Truly.
I feel.
That's such a wonderful message, sir. Sir, you spoke about talent. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about what a sound designer does and what your role is?
So you probably know what a cameraman does. Everything that you see in a film is a cameraman's responsibility. So everything you hear in a film is my responsibility as a sound designer. Like, what kind of sound you should hear, from where you should hear, from how you should hear, so that it makes emotional impact. Also, what is the texture of sound that you should hear? Like the way a cameraman works on light and sound, light and shades. He creates light and shadow and create a texture to the picture. He gives a depth to the picture. Like the way a sound designer works on a lot of palette of sounds and create a texture. It's called the oral texture. Because when you watch a cinema, you're not watching the picture and the sound separately. They are not two independent things. Though they are two independent artistry,
Right.
when they come together, it comes to you as one single emotion. People who are different ages, different walks of life, different caste, different creed, they all sit in a dark room, look at a film, they cry at the same emotion, they laugh at the same joke, which means it is the most unifying, event for me.
Yes.
You get united, in that dark room when the film starts, and it is our responsibility to actually mesmerize the audience with the picture when the cameraman does it like that, and with the sound, my sound designer does it. Sound is something. I call it a very a film is a subjective art, but sound is a very submersive, thing that it just brings you inside the film.
Definitely.
It has all the quality, and most often in life, you hear, you don't listen. Me as a sound designer, I have to listen to many sounds and choose a particular couple of sounds and put it into the film, and to make the audience feel that there couldn't have been anything else. Every time we have to make the audience feel that they are sitting in the most natural settings and environment. That's what we do. We always cheat you guys. We are in the business of cheating.
But that cheating brings us so much joy and so much excitement, sir, that it's unmatched. So I think it's pretty fair then.
I wouldn't say, I wouldn't say cheating. I would say
I understand.
manifesting and manipulating.
100%, sir. Sir, but what skills then are important for someone who wants to join this field?
I won't say any particular skill, but a skill is something that you develop. You know, we are all born as artists. Only the degree of it varies from person to person. For example, you walk into a house, you will know there is a 4-year-old child in that house or not. You just look at the wall. He takes a charcoal and start drawing. So you are born as an artist. It's only you keep, the degree of it varies from one person to the other. And skill is something that you can always learn and polish yourself. So whichever field that you want to go, you understand that field and you start polishing your skills towards it. When I wanted to learn music, but I never learned music. I always thought that's my drawback, when I was studying in the institute. So I went to a guru. I started learning a little bit of tabla. Then I started, sat with a singer and Saiduddin Dagar in Pune. Heard a lot of music with him. I actually haven't learned music. So now I'm looking back. It actually helped me. I know music. So I got a sense of rhythm from the music. I didn't have to know how to create music, because that's not my job.
Right.
So I can do compositions with sound, which is to me far more interesting than making compositions with music. That everybody does.
Right.
What I do, nobody does. So skill is something that you can learn. So in my profession, you need to have good ears, and you have to constantly learn and understand the difference between hearing and listening. Yeah.
Great, sir. Sir, we also know that you work not just in a single language film, but multiple different languages films you have been catering to. How do you think, sir, multilingualism has helped you in your field? And since that is also something CBSE promotes in its education, how do you think that's going to help students, maybe taking from your own journey, sir?
So if you ask me what is my favorite book, there's a book called A Letter to My Teacher, written by 11 students in Italy, ranging from the age of 6 to 11 years old, under the tuteleship of a pastor. The book narrates a lot of statistics, but the main crux of the book is it's the students who's writing to the teacher, letter to my teacher. It basically tells you that you can have political equality, one vote, the value of one vote, everybody does the same. So it is political equality, or you can achieve economic equality. But the true equality is achieved only when the haves and the have-not speak the same language. When I say same language, that the haves and the have-not is able to express the true potential of every word and the emotion it carries. So the communication is complete. That is when a true equality is achieved. That's what the book says.
Right.
And that book has completely changed the European schooling system. So I think multilingual approach is a very solid decision from CBSE. And me as a student, I have studied in Malayalam medium all through my career until I reached my law and BSc and all that. So I have the inherent visual sense and visual power and thinking. I think in my Malayalam, in my own language, the language that I am born with, and then I do mental calculation, translate into English, and I write down. Now, as I learned other languages, the translation speed has increased. I'm very quick, but my thinking is original. So if you are not giving your children the mother tongue, the language in which they have born in or born with, you are not giving them original power to think.
Right.
It is absolutely essential that the children speak their own language. In a metropolitan city, for example, in Bombay or Calcutta or Delhi, I know that there is a camouflage of there's a lot of languages. Kid goes out of their house and he's exposed to so many languages. But he is inherently attuned to the mother tongue. Like the way Abhimanyu, when he was inside, he heard everything. So he could do the Chakravyuh, but he didn't know how to come out of it. You know. So let's not trap our children inside a Chakravyuh of all of it. Like in India, if you just want to get around through it, you need to know 3 languages: your mother tongue, Hindi, and English.
Right.
And like a person like me would know at least 5 language. You know, if you know more than 3 language in the Europe, you are called a linguist. You know, we need 3 language minimum to get around in India.
Yes.
So I think this multi-language approach is quite a right decision in our modern day living, I feel. Kudos to CBSE for that.
Thank you so much, sir. So I would also like to ask you that for many of us still, sound designing and audio and mixing is a relatively lesser known or even a new field for many who are not much aware of it. So what do you think the scope is in today's day if a student wants to enter into this field?
So you deal with sound every day, just that you are not aware of it, you know. They say, the latest studies say that as you get old, your brain power diminishes, you know, and you got into this dementia, Alzheimer's, and all this kind of disease. So brain constantly needs input. You know, it's like a computer.
Right.
It constantly needs input so that it doesn't degenerate. There's only one organ in the whole body is giving the brain constant input. Those are the ears.
Right.
When you're sleeping, your eyes are closed. You know, so it's not giving any input, visual input. So, but ear is constantly giving you the input.
You're still hearing sounds.
But you're not aware of it because the brain has the power, you know, to ignore it. So the possibility of working with sound is multifold if you understand the possibility of using it. So cinema is one immediate thing that comes to you, and music is another immediate thing that comes to you. Because what is the composition in the music? It's you know, every time you're trying to find new sound, you know. The compositions are probably the same. There are only a certain set of ragas and certain set of tunes that you can come up with. What you make it different is that you use different sets of sound so that it still makes interesting. There are a lot of other avenues where you know, you can use sound. You know, there is like the way a painter paints and become a painter and have shown his work in the museums, or a sculptor, you know, sculpts and show his work in the museums. There are sound artists who does work with sounds and, you know, create their artwork and compositions and shown in the art galleries of. So if you want to be a true artist and doesn't want to get tied up to storytelling and cinema and all that, then sound artistry is a huge area like that you can explore. And there are various other avenues and opportunities. The light and sound shows are there. So if you want to work with sound, the possibilities are immense. You know. Yes, of course, it is a relatively, I wouldn't say it's a relatively unknown area. It's like the way the sound is, that you're hearing 100 sounds, but you're only listening to 3 sounds in the whole palette. That's how whole life is. You have to understand, human race in the animal kingdom, they were the only one who were more attuned to sound. Because we were hunters as a race. So we always looked forward. Because we were hunting when we look forward. But the attack always came from the back. So the brain has always been attuned to sound that is coming from behind you. You know. So we as a race have understood this. But we have forgotten it now. That's why we say that it's a relatively unknown area. It is not an unknown area at all.
Yes. So it's something that we're actually experiencing every single day.
Yeah.
Just that we're not acknowledging it.
Exactly.
So, with that being said, you have been recognized in Indian and international cinema, and with the kind of awards you have won, you've really represented the country and brought laurels back to the nation, sir. I'm sure many of our CBSE students are also aspiring to do the same. So, sir, how has your experience been, standing at that international level and representing your country? And what is it that you would like to say to the students who are aspiring to do the same?
To be able to represent your country is one of the most privileged moment in your life, I would say. What is that you need to do? I don't think there is a shortcut for hard work, perseverance, and stability. You have to be stable. You have to be, you have to pursue what you want to do in life. And hard work. When you say hard work, you remember, somebody working hard is not your perspective. When you're actually working, you're just working. It is the people outside who says, "Oh, he's hardworking." So, whatever people say about you, how you are, what you're doing, it's all an outside perspective. Don't go by that. I keep doing stuff. I keep doing sound work. I keep editing. I keep recording. I keep redoing. I keep remixing until I am satisfied. Unless and until you form an opinion about the art and culture and the work that you want to do, and form an opinion about what you want to do in life, and create a conviction around your belief, and you work towards it, and every time you have to understand that you have to work towards that conviction that you have. And am I arriving at that conviction? Am I doing enough? Until then you're working. Working hard is a third person's narrative. Don't go by that.
So that motivation, sir, that satisfaction has to come from within. With that also being said, sir, we still know there are a lot of parents who might be a little apprehensive when their children make decisions of going into these creative fields. So what is your word of advice for those parents?
I have a very immediate example for all those people who thinks that these are less significant career opportunities. Not long ago in our past, we have gone through COVID. We sat in our bedrooms and living rooms during the pandemic. What did we do? We turned towards two set of people who we thought are insignificant for our life. One was peasants who made the food for us. So we could go to the shop and buy them, vegetables, food materials, bring back home, cook and feed our family.
Right, sir.
Then what did we do? We opened books. We started reading novels and literature and poetry. And we switched on our television and we watched Netflix and Amazons and everything. We watched stories. Who were they? Artists.
Right.
Remember, when the whole world was in crisis, only two set of people came to a rescue, which was artists community and the peasant community.
No doubt about that.
And you are saying pursuing art is a less significant thing? So those parents have to stop for a moment and think.
They need to reflect back that these are things that are actually giving you joy in life.
Exactly.
And they're letting your children explore.
Now, I understand a parent's perspective, which refers to our earlier question, is that they're worried about your safety. They're worried about your future. I mean, please understand, human race is the only race who worried about their offspring. Every other animals in the kingdom, animal kingdom, they just kick them out. वो थोड़ा बहुत उनको देखभाल करते उसके बाद kick them out. उसके बाद they a tiger would teach their cubs to go how to hunt. Then that's it, their life.
Right.
We have to let them go. Every child in this universe comes with its own destiny. And believe it is for him or her to create their own destiny, write their own destiny.
That's very important.
Why are we so corrupt? Because we are not just earning for our generation. We are earning for our next generation and the next generation. If we stop earning for 5 generations, want to create wealth for 5 generations, then we stop corruption. No? We can stop somewhere and say, okay, okay,
Yes.
this is enough. I don't have to do this much, or now I can start giving. I think it is the over anxiety of the parents that make them say, and I would ask all of them to refer to the pandemic situation that I said. Nothing you do in life is insignificant. If it comes to bringing a smile to a third person's face, nothing you do is insignificant.
Truly, sir, that's such a wonderful message that you have given us. Now, before we let you go, sir, your advice or any words of motivation for all our dear students who will be watching this podcast.
No, I have no advice to give it to my young friends. Nothing as such. There are a lot of big people from whose life we can learn, like Mahatma Gandhi or Martin Luther King. There are so many other people whose life is an example. And in front of them, I have nothing to say. I have no advice. Please, don't follow me.
But sir, your story itself is so inspiring. You've taught us to see a different perspective of what hard work is. You've taught us how passion and determination takes you places, and how bringing joy to other people's life can sometimes also be the reason for your joy and success in life.
Your existence.
Yeah.
Your existence is that you're bringing joy to other people. So where did that come from? It came from my education. I have looked at my education as a point of receiving things. It was always open, and I had the great fortune of having some of the best teachers in my life. And everyone I worked with, I looked at them as my teachers. If you listened to my Oscar speech, which is considered to be one of the best speeches at the Oscars even today, I'm the only one who thanked my teachers. You listen to the Oscar speech of everyone in the world. Nobody thanked their teachers. And many people have come forward and told me that, that was the best thing. So I have had the great fortune of having some best teachers in my life. See, you have to understand, culture is not something that you learn inside your home. Culture is something that education, when I say culture, is education, is something that you learn outside your home. People who you mingle with, people with you interact with, people whom you associate with, people whom you work with, they are the ones who actually shaping you. They are the ones who actually making you what you are. It's not your parents. Please open up yourself and see that. And if parents can also think and let their children be free, and we have to direct them, we have to have a look on them, because many times they make wrong decisions, or they're not capable of, maybe they make immature decisions. And those moments we have to tell them. See, unless that trust you build, they will not come and tell you. My first directorial, a film that I directed, it's called Otta, which means loner. It's about children. It's kind of an analysis of why children runs away from home. And why do children run away from home? Because they are finding someone outside your home more trustworthy. Why is that? How come your parents or your siblings are not the best friends whom they share things with? So the problem lies with us.
Yes.
As parents. And what is a home? Often I asked in my film, what is a home? A home is a place where you want to come back to. You ask any high school student today, he wants to run away from home.
Yes, that's
He or she says that, I just want to get out of this house. There is something seriously wrong with our parenting.
So thank you so much, sir, because today sitting with you and having this conversation, it has been so valuable. And like you said, outside your home is where you get your education from. And my dear students, parents, and teachers, this podcast is one of those moments where you learned how life can be and how deep and meaningful it is. So really, sir, thank you so much. It was such an enriching experience, and we're certainly looking forward to hearing your name again and again in India and in international cinema, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to my young friends. Looking forward.
Thank you so much, sir.